So Angela, today we'll be talking on the topic of pitching and why it's so important. So first of all, why is it so important to have a good pitch?
Well, there's actually two big reasons I would say. Now, in today's world, everyone is very busy. So everything is trying to scream for attention all the time. So people don't have a lot of attention span. So everything that you want to convey to other people, it has to be snappy and quick. So that's the first reason why it has to be a pitch that conveys a relevant message to the people and moves them to action. And the other thing for a pitch, especially if you're a startup, it's really because you spend so much time, effort, and energy in order to prepare for a product, develop it, do your research, and some people pour their whole lives into it, including their money. So they invest a lot in their product development. But if you're not able to convey the message the moment that it matters the most, which I call the moment of truth usually, when you stand in front of the investor, the partner, whoever you want to get on board in order to help you further, then your idea will not make it and also not make the impact that it is supposed to make. So a pitch is actually equally important compared to the product itself. And not a lot of people realize that. So those are, I would say, the two main reasons.
And you're absolutely right that you can have a great product, but you need an even greater pitch for people to know about it. So what makes an ultimate pitch?
That's an interesting question because I see it in two ways again. One is the pitch itself, let's say, what people normally call a pitch. That's the first, let's say, 3-5 minutes into the story. That message has to be clear, relevant, memorable, and actionable. Those are the elements of the pitch. It's the first, I would say, the first portion of people call the pitch. But the real ultimate pitch, I would say, has more elements to it. Because after the pitch, what happens? People have questions. Are you prepared for that? You have to close the deal. Are you prepared for that? And while you're doing this whole encounter or meeting, however you name this, are you in your authentic power? Are you able to be confident and credible whilst you're doing the whole thing? Some people rehearse for the pitch, the first part, but don't prepare properly for the rest. And then you really see delivering the pitch rehearsed, very confident, and then when the question comes, you see, let's say, the confidence go through the floor if they realize that they didn't really prepare for the last bit. So an ultimate pitch has all of these parts in one unit, I would say, a unity.
And it's not as easy as it sounds to make a great pitch. So what are some of the most common errors that people do make when providing a pitch to people?
The most common mistake, I would say, links a little bit to what I said before, is that they don't do enough preparation. They don't realize how detailed every single step has to be staged. That's the first. And the other one is the mindset. It has to do with they don't understand that it's really about finding the win-win from both sides. To really do the research about the investor's mind, I call it, who's sitting in front of you, to really dive deep into how to find the needs for both sides instead of pushing and selling your product to the other person. And I would say finally, there are more mistakes, but another thing that I see a lot is that people don't tap into the human side of the story, or only tap into the human side of the story. So there has to be the facts and figures, but it has to be the empathy too. And this balance I don't often see in the pitches, and that is both needed in order to be very compelling.
And sometimes you see people that do all the things right, but then when they actually get to the pitch, their nerves just take over and they do get the better of them. So for people that are really overcoming their nerves, what's the best thing they can do to overcome that?
The first thing they should do, of course, is practice, 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 because the competence comes from practicing, and with the competence, you get the confidence. So that's definitely the first thing you have to do, is really practice. The other thing is to really get excited. I call get excited because fear and when you're nervous, it's the same signals as actually when you're excited, but your brain interprets in a different way. You can use the same physical reaction to get excited and to understand that you're here to serve people and not to do anything to push or sell to people. It's really the uncomfort, that discomfort that people normally have, to turn it into a fuel. That is a very big thing.
So finally, how can we take action to improve our pitching skills?
The first thing you can do is definitely invest the time that is appropriate for preparing a very good pitch. And then again, practice, practice, practice. find people to give you feedback. And the more you do it, the more it gets into your system. It's like learning how to walk. You don't walk immediately. You have to keep doing it over and over again, and suddenly you start running. So it's really about practicing, rehearsing, and then go for it.
Fantastic. Well, Angela, thank you so much for coming in today and sharing your insights.
Thank you, Jessica.
Well, that's all from us here in the Geneva studios, but we want to hear how you found this interview, so please do like and comment on Dukascopy.tv.